High five.
Oh, wait.
What? Hi, everybody. This is Lynn from Lions Den Fitness.
Tanya from Live Wellness Life Coaching.
And we have Jaicee from Level 1.
Doesn't she have her own business?
What's your business?
Thank you.
Well, what's your business?
I am doing energy work, and I've created my own business. It's called Soul Connection Winnipeg. Check us out. We are doing theta healing and IET.
Awesome.
I have everything posted, lots of different stuff we offer through those. I guess.
We'll put the website on the bottom. We'll, scroll it here somewhere. We'll place it there so that you guys can check it out.
So we have my beautiful Live Wellness sign because I've been recording. Yesterday I did a bunch of recording for my online class.
That's coming out soon.
FYI.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's for everybody who is not in Winnipeg and can't see her live.
Yes.
Because you really, really, if you're going to do it, and if you can see her and be in class with her, then you should do it.
Actually, we can ask Jaicee about it.
Yeah, because she was in our level.
Going into level...
Well, I don't have a level 4, but we will get on that right away.
That's the master's.
That's the master's. I'm doing a master's class, yeah.
Why don't you tell us your thoughts on it, Jaicee?
It's actually really, really great. Working with energy, and Tanya here is just incredible and very knowledgeable.
Aww.
Yeah.
I didn't pay her. She's not being paid today.
No, we bought her coffee, though.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Water.
No, and even for me, going through this course, there were some things that I had already knew and familiar with, and there is some things that really caught me by surprise. Even energetically with myself, I can feel shifts, I can feel changes. I finished the course about 2 weeks ago.
I don't know now.
A week and a half ago?
No, 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
It's
No
about
way.
3 weeks, yeah.
It doesn't feel like that long. Anyway, I think I just finished it, and there's huge changes in my personal life I've made. Huge changes in stuff that I didn't even think was coming, and now I feel very empowered, very strong. And I really think my turning point was hanging out with these guys for a few weeks doing this course. So it was wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah. I love hearing that. Love hearing that.
We've gotten a lot of responses like that about your energy healing and maybe some of the processes.
Woo!
Like if people, they're like, well, what is that? Like voodoo magic that you do?
Oh dear. No voodoo.
It's not voodoo, but people like my mom, for example. I could call my mom on this podcast. She's
you always clip it out though.
I know, but I'm not gonna clip this one out. My mom thinks that a lot of this is not voodoo, but she kind of says you're voodoo magic or whatever. So let's just call it that for a second. But what's the process, or what is it that you do when you have somebody in your chair or on the table?
Usually on a table. So it's like a massage table. People come, lay down. And really your job is to sit there and relax and let your mind go to wherever you feel, wherever you might want to go. And my job is to create the energy that you already have and bring new positive energy to really your life force, your body. A lot of times folks come to me with issues of whatever, mental, physical, and a lot of the times it's caused from negative energy that is stored certain places in your body. And so I'm able to tap into those and really release all the negative crap, all the heavy stuff, all the stuff that a lot of times we don't even know we have. Mm-hmm. And then reintegrate positive energy into it, reintegrate almost a new sense around each point in the body, and we're able to actually charge our cells with positive energy, and a lot of people feel crazy, amazing results with this. Yeah.
I just did it. Yeah. She's done it before, I just did it before this podcast. Oh, I didn't do it. She did it.
Yeah, it's done on you.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people who they come and either it be an emotional issue or even physical. I don't want to be a miracle healer. I am not a miracle healer physically. But there is scientific proof and studies that are being shown that yes, energy work does help ease symptoms. A lot of times it does help people feel pain-free or at least, helps in the healing process of whatever it is that they're going through.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of epigenetics.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with epigenetics? Well, it's basically like cellular work, right?
Yeah.
Like energy work on a cellular level. So, I mean,
Well, I was just going to say, a lot of the affirmations and stuff like that, like if you have like low blood pressure or something, it's usually because of an affirmation that you have on yourself. It's kind of the same idea, right? A negative thought that you have on yourself, and it kind of brings so when I went for my shoulder surgery, or when I blew it out, that affirmation or that limiting belief that I had was the weight of the world on my shoulders. And eventually it just tapped. And it was true, because at that point I was already starting to deal with issues with my marriage and stuff like that.
And Louise Hay has been doing some incredible work with body issues and stuff like that, and relates to our mental, our thoughts, our feelings, even our daily lives and how that's affecting us. And so she has a book out, Louise Hay, A to Z, Heal Your Body. And every symptom, every part of your body that may be hurting, that may be broken, that may have issues, she has found by working with numbers of people that these limiting beliefs are actually what causing their body to break down.
Well, she's been doing that work for 50 plus years.
Yeah, it's huge. It's been a long time. She's really a pioneer.
And it's too bad that it's not more recognized out there, because I think if you can go more into that path and actually use your own energy to freaking heal yourself,
that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Share this information.
Yes,
and with our classes and my classes, I teach a lot of Louise Hay. A lot of Louise Hay, and mirror work is a big one.
She's definitely
she's
a mentor.
wonderful. Yeah. She's wonderful. But I mean, you can even watch her documentary Heal Your Life, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And it'll explain to you everything in there. And I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense. And the world is kind of shifting. There's more and more people turning to alternative medicine, alternative healing, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as you do turn to alternative healing, it involves energy work, and you're going to be introduced to all this stuff. So, I mean, it's not that unheard of, but not anymore.
No, yeah.
And a lot of time when I talk to people, new folks who haven't really heard of it, and I always say, why not? What's there to lose? It's organic. It's no meds. It's no, radiation. There's no injections, right? It's absolutely organic for your body. And if nothing else, if it doesn't work for you, then you know what? You can move on. You can start seeing some of the other options medically that we have. But
this has been happening since the beginning of time.
Yeah,
this is how people have originally been healing themselves. People have been energetically healing themselves since the beginning of time. And then all this Western medicine, which actually has its place it has its place. Oh my gosh, it serves us all, for real. Sure. However, energy healing has its place as well. Yep. So I think that it's wonderful that nowadays we can tap into both of them. I have a question though. Yes. Is what you do like Reiki?
It's similar to. It's working with energy. Reiki, a lot of times is using energy that you're not touching the person's body. With integrated energy therapy, which is one of the modalities that I use, is I am placing my hands on certain parts of your body, usually your head and down your back, and kind of tapping into those certain pieces on your body which carry different negative emotions throughout time. And sometimes we don't know we have these energies, and sometimes we know that exactly what's bothering us and exactly what's weighing us down, right? So by touching certain points on the body, using energy, I'm able to tap in, kind of stimulate the energy, the negative energy that's there, kind of bring it to the surface and pull it out. Whereas Reiki, you pull energy out, but you're not touching anybody. For IET, a lot of people who use this, they kind of use the phrase of get the issues out of your tissues. And we don't talk during this therapy, right? There's some energy stuff that I do that we do talk, and, it's more of an energy therapy counseling type session.
Is that what you did, Lynn?
No, I did what you did, except I was lying down. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll recruit you guys.
Well, what was cool about, and what you're saying is, if you're going to go with the touching and stuff like that, well, you can talk about what you experienced, but for me, when she does this, and if you don't, for me, I was I believe in all this stuff, but I wasn't sure what to expect because I had no idea, like none. When she set out the massage table, I'm like, all right, massage time, right?
I was hoping she was gonna
just not just leave it out there. But when I lie down, I wasn't sure what to expect, and when she put her hands on my head, like I could feel it from the tip of my toes, and it felt like a river of energy that was just rushing, and I think I started crying right away. Like, right away. And then she moved off to the side. I think it was on this side.
That side.
This side?
That side.
This side. That side. And, that's right. That's on this side. And then I just bawled again. And then you were saying that you smelled...
I smelled a certain...
certain flower.
Very flowery.
And that was completely... I knew exactly who that was and why they were there. So that was really cool.
Can you share that?
Yeah, it was, my dad, one of his favorite scents was lavender, and one of his favorite flowers was that, like, he just really loved flowers. And so when you said you could smell, like, orchids or, like, some kind of flower, it was lavender. You weren't 100% sure, but I knew right away. And again, I just started bawling some more. So, like, you can literally feel, like, when you're feeling all of that, like, you feel the energy. Like, when she's saying you're touching the negative spots, you feel that it being pulled out. But you were saying that you can only pull out whatever your body's going to allow out, right? Is it your body or your spirit that would?
It depends. It's really kind of your energy field that I'm working with, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, well, for me, energy, I really feel like our bodies are just vessels for our soul, right? And my body may look like this, and in the next lifetime, it may look something completely different. But I really feel like it's on a soul cellular level. Mm-hmm. And so each piece of our body is just cells that we're able to work with and we're able to move. So using energy work, every time I touch a piece of this, it's just where our energy fields are holding these things, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, our cells totally feel and affect us all the time. And, by able to tap into this energy, we're able to stimulate that. And even with Tanya, like right away, I touched a few spots and her body reacted. Like her body knew right away, oh my God, it's there. This is it. And, right away she could feel the difference. They could feel...
And I was in the room and you could see the difference in just from being up here to just down here. Mm-hmm. In like literally a touch.
Yeah. When she touched my head, because Lynn was lying down on a table and I was sitting in this chair, a chair like this, and then she was standing behind me and she touched my head and I just felt like this, like I felt like I was being pushed down to the chair, about to fall over or something. Yeah. It was just such a heavy weight, just like right through into my chest. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Yeah.
When you don't know what to expect from it, it can kind of catch you off guard. I know that when we were done, it took me about 20 minutes to be able just to sit up. I had to lie down for a long time. And then after that 20 minutes, it was like I had drank about 15 espresso shots and it was go. It was go. I cleaned my car. I mowed my lawn. I cleaned my house. It was go, go, go. And and then I crashed that night. I was like, I slept.
I'm freezing. Because this happened right before we recorded and I'm freezing. My nose is sweating. Feel my nose. Ugh. I guess you don't really need to feel it, but it's really cold. My fingers are freezing.
Wow.
I'm cold.
Well, I had to stay wrapped up in that blanket for a long time.
Yeah, you were.
Well, even when I do meditations or visualizations of people, I always recommend have a blanket or something because you get really chilly.
I found that this made me it made me stay cold for a long time, and I'm not sure why.
I think everyone's body reacts differently to it. There are some common feelings after, right? A lot of times people will be a little bit dizzy, just need to regain some, just reground themselves, some balance, right? And sometimes it is because you're laying on a table, but also because your body is shifting and changing. And, it can be, some people find it really intense, right? Like they just have crazy energy after, and some people are, a little bit tired after.
You know what it felt like? It felt like you cut off about 1 million pounds off my waist, and then I was just able to go.
Yeah.
It was just like as simple as that. I just felt like I had no more weight. I mean, it's whatever now, but I think it's time to do another session soon.
I think people, they see energy work without doing it, and they judge it in a sense of it is voodoo. That doesn't really work, or
Well, people, you got to remember, we're made up of energy.
Yeah.
We're made up of energy. We learn all this in like grade 8 science class or whenever it was. Like it's science. We're made up of energy. We vibrate shit. That's scientifically proven now.
Yeah.
All the almost all of the Olympic athletes visualize and raise their vibration, raise their energy, and actually visualize their entire race, whatever it is that they're competing in, their entire skating regime or whatever it is. They literally sit there, close their eyes, and visualize it happening.
Well, yeah, if you ever see, like, the bobsled people right before they go, you see them moving, and it's because they can, they see it all in their head.
And they actually, like, hook up these, whatever they're called, are they called electrodes? or whatever it is, where it measures your energy or vibration or whatever. And they hook that up, and then they've done tests where they'll have people doing the actual exercise, and then they'll have people, like, visualizing that they're actually doing the exercise, and their heart rates are the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's scientifically proven. Not everybody's heard of it, but the shit works. You know what I mean? Like, it's we're not making it up.
No.
Yep, for sure.
And if you doubt it or whatever, and you're not afraid to try it, then,
call me.
Again, website will be right here. I think you should do it. I think it's worth a shot. I mean, you never know what can happen out of it, and the best case scenario is you actually can start tapping into yourself.
Yep.
And the worst case scenario, you just
Waste
enjoy
it out.
another experience.
Yeah.
Not
On a positive
wasted.
note,
Not waste.
Another positive note, I also have discounted first sessions, and if you book 3 sessions, you get 50% off for the third one. So,
What
yeah.
do you eat? Address one of our ladies' questions on here.
Okay.
I'm not going to say her name, but it has to do with, I guess, allowing others' energies to affect you.
Yeah.
Allowing what other people do around you to affect how you feel.
Yeah.
I guess, do you want to help me out with this?
On the law of allowing. Also, a thing that I chatted with her a little bit was about being envious or having somebody envious of you or whatever, or jealousy. And I think those are pretty big topics to talk about because, and judgment, I think was another one we wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment.
And they're tough and complex.
Yeah.
Are your actions, thoughts, whatever, is it coming from a place of love and kindness? I don't want to get all hairy-fairy or but, a lot of the times it's what's the best for everybody in the situation, right? And I think that we hear a lot of people fighting, exes with showering them with love instead of showering them with anger and resentment. And, not that we can't own those feelings, we can't have our own feelings with those, but also to take a step further and go, is this really worth having the anger with it, right? It's holding me back. It's really kind of just having a negative face on. And that's hard. And that's what the ego loves. The ego loves making the anger, the negative, weighing us down, right? And the sooner we can try and figure out how to work with ourselves and be happy and content and not feel like we're being walked on, but at the same time also, kind of doing what's best for everybody and sending the love out there so it can open up and return back to you, right?
Yeah. So ego, no, I love that. I do.
Yeah.
Ego, the easiest way that I can understand it is that it's there to keep you safe. It's there to keep you safe. It's there. If you guys have been to one of my classes or if you've heard me talk before on this podcast, you have this circle of comfort. The circle of comfort, and that's where the ego is, right?
Yeah.
You dare to step beyond that circle of comfort, outside of your comfort zone. The ego is going to do whatever the hell it needs to do in order to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, okay? But now, I'm sorry guys for whoever's listening, now that you are aware of what the ego's purpose is to keep you safe, you now know that if you want to move forward, you need to face the ego. You need to step out of that comfort zone. You need to step into the face of fear. You need to kick ego's ass, literally, right? But for me, I like to be aware of the ego because it is there to keep you safe. So it's like, okay, well, I'll listen to what the ego has to say, but then I'm going to just move ahead. It's kind of like the ego's the head but
I think that's where
the
you kind
ego's
of go,
the mind, and And then if you want to move forward, it's more like your intuitiveness, your
I think it's
Your body is
if you
telling you
can kind
to,
of get into that happy zone of moving forward. Because I was actually listening to a thing from Abraham Hicks that talked about fear and ego, and there was a lot of it that made sense to me, and a lot of it it didn't resonate with me. But the biggest thing that resonated with me was fear and ego. Yeah, they're there to keep you safe. They're there to prevent you from making a dumb decision, because sometimes, let's face it, we want to make dumb decisions, right? To stay small. But the biggest thing that she said was, if you can move beyond that, and that was what I was mentioning earlier, if you can move beyond the fear, and if you can feel a set of, feel ease, or if you can feel like you've got it, like, so if it's a job, if it's a career, if it's, my Get Fit Transcona, if it was your videos for whatever, if you can look beyond that and you can go, oh, well, I can actually do this, and actually it feels good to know that I can actually do that, then I think that that's where you kind of have to take that step out of the comfort zone. I think that that's where you got to go for it. But if you envision that I have my Get Fit Transcona, that you have all your videos and you're still in your head going, it doesn't feel right, it's yucky, it's not,
Yeah.
then I think that that's where you got to listen to the ego or the fear, and you kind of go, okay, well, that's got to go.
You're tapping into your inner body wisdom.
Yeah.
When you're able to read the yucky and the feel good and decipher the difference between the two fears.
Yeah. But I think that that's got to be a sense of ego as well, that's sitting there going, well, it might be a bit of a red flag, but it's still like, I don't know.
There's a piece that, for me, fear is false expectations that appear real. And that is what the ego creates for us, that we are having these false expectations of what life should be, what we should be doing. It creates the guilt of, why aren't I doing this, or I should be a better mom, or, all these shoulds and all this stuff that's weighing you down is really false expectations, right? Yeah. Who says you're not a good mom?
Yeah.
Probably just you.
Probably it's
it's probably just you. Sorry, ladies, but when we start realizing where is these things coming from, right? And it's just inside of ourselves. If it's the negative, that's the ego trying to stay inside you and keep you safe.
Yeah.
Right? It's not always right. The ego a lot of times is not right. The ego likes to stay and be stuck, and it likes to stay inside that circle, right? Mm-hmm. And if we stay inside that circle, we're not growing. We're not expanding who we are. We're not expanding things we want to do. We're not expanding our lives.
And if you're wondering why you're a little unhappy and you feel stuck and everything else, it's probably because you need to step out of that comfort zone. You need to move forward.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's all about you got to move forward. What's the point of doing anything if you're not willing to just get a little bit outside of it and actually try to live? Yeah. You have this one life that you can remember. Your soul is whatever, but you're in this physical body one time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of friends come to me and say, well, what do I do and how do I do this? And I say, stop, take 2 deep breaths, look inside your heart, feel it, feel yourself sitting in your heart. What do you want, right? What is it that you really want to do? What is it that you really want to feel?
Go back to that picture for a second.
And just say it out loud. What is it? Regardless of the stuff you have to do. Oh my goodness, that's perfect.
I'm going to come up close. There it is. All right, your little ego and yourself. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was...
I told you I needed this book. Yeah. Divine Ground. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
But if you have this intuition when you stop and you feel yourself inside of your heart, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. And after you get there and you ask yourself the question, follow that answer. That's your intuition. That is your whole self. That most likely is an ego.
That's why I love level 1.
Mm-hmm.
I love level 1 because most times women come in and they're like, I don't know what the hell to expect. I'm just coming because I want to get out of the house. I need to do something for myself. Or I feel stuck and I don't know why. And then we do that chart, that wheel or whatever. And then we focus on the 8 different areas. And it's like probably 90% of the people that I do that wheel with have never thought of those, of 4 out of 8 of those areas of life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And then they're like conscious of it now. And then it's just like you're creating, how do I say? It's like you're opening their awareness to what is possible out there. And many times if you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So you don't know that ego's holding you back. you don't know that you're stuck in this little comfort zone if you don't know.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at all the things that are possible that you're able to create and whatever by the end of level 1.
Well, what I really like about the wheel is that to me, it's a mirror in front of your face. And like you were saying, a lot of people have a hard time admitting the truth. That if something in their life is wrong, I think that's where a tendency of people, like, I think that we're going to touch reflection on that, but I think that's where that kind of comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, we kind of got off.
Yeah.
we're trying to help our little lady out. But so that reflection thing. Okay, so let's talk about judgment. Anybody have something to say about judgment?
It's a reflection.
Of ourselves.
Of ourselves onto others.
And you know what? It took me the third class that we taught for me to actually get the balls to tell people that.
Yeah. And you know what? When we did that class, that was in your level. We didn't do it the first time around, but when you were in it, when we did that, I think that opened up a lot of.
I basically
said
to everybody, I am sorry if you take offense to this, but as your coach, her too, in her line of coaching,
yeah,
I'm not always there to hold your hand and whatever else. Sometimes I'm going to kick you in the ass and tell you things that you don't want to hear in order to help you move forward. And judgment is basically a mirror. It's a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel judgment and I want to look at somebody and I want to judge them, I stop. And because I've been doing it for a while now, I stop. I might be like 10 minutes into judging somebody. And then I'll finally realize it. And then I'll be like, whoa. What the hell is going on with me that I feel like I need to judge another person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always something going on with me when I'm judging somebody else.
Battery life I have left. 15. We're good. Okay.
So, I mean, it may not always be an exact mirror of what you're judging, but there's always something going on with you. You're not in alignment.
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't feel like you're very grounded when you're judging somebody.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you're very. You're not coming from a genuine, heartfelt place. You're coming from, again, back to ego. But it's almost like your ego's trying to make that one more jump to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Right. One more jump, and then one more jump. Right. And even again, like after even 10 minutes, right? How many times have you jumped in that 10 minutes? Degrading or calling down this person in your mind. Don't even have to say it.
Yeah.
Right? Your thoughts are your actions, and that just starts.
I love this. I love the one about the parents. Like, so many parents judge other parents.
Yeah.
Like, we all come from different walks of life. And I'm so grateful that I was able to be exposed to many different walks of life. But there was a time when it was before my boys and whatever else, when I would be like, I would never let my child do that. Why are you letting your child do that? That you shouldn't be doing that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on with me that I feel like I need to judge another person and their parenting?
I used to be like that.
Yeah. And then I had the boys. Huh. And then, you know what I mean? And then all shit broke loose. And then I was like, oh, I get it. It's not always the parents' fault,
Especially
but not only that, like, there's a lot of us who would judge, the way we dress our kids, and why don't we do this, and they shouldn't be buying that when they need to buy that. They shouldn't have an iPhone with whatever, you know what I mean?
Whatever it is.
And in religion too. People who don't believe in religion will judge other people who are religious.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get over that because I grew up in a very religious household, and then I began to hate it. And then I was like, religion brings nothing but evil. You know what I mean? But then it took me, it's almost like I had to kick the ego to the curb when it came to spirituality, because just because you're spiritual doesn't make you better than, you know what I mean? Like, that's why today I always make sure I embrace all religions. They all have something to teach me. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably my biggest journey, is releasing judgment and accepting everybody for their own beliefs.
Yeah.
I think for me, a lot of the times now that I'm more aware of judgment, I'm able to nip it in the bud faster, I like to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I start asking myself, and I start realizing this subconsciously, of what's that person's story, right? And maybe that's what we really are
to.
asking ourselves when we're judging people is, and let's say easy example would be, somebody who's living on the streets. Well, they're not hardworking, they don't whatever, they're drunks, they're
I'm not going to give them money because
blah,
they could just
blah,
go and get a
exactly.
job.
Yeah. But what's the story behind that? You aren't necessarily born on the streets and you sit there your whole life, right? Like, and people have ambitions. People do get off the streets. People are on the streets for all kinds of reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily stuff that they have done to get there. Sometimes it's just life happens and that's where they are, right?
I don't want to name any names, but
but she's trying
Jaicee says.
But Jaicee
let's just use Jason. So this guy, I would be driving with him, and I would always, like if I had 4 quarters or whatever, I'd be like, there you go, and he'd be like, they can get a freaking job. Look at them, they're willing and able, and blah 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 blah. They can stand out here for 8 hours a day. And I said, dude, if there's a gentleman standing out on the street asking for money, like there's something going on with him. We have no idea. I cannot place myself in his shoes. All I know is that I look at him and I smile and I see him as being equal to me. And I know that I've said this before, but I'll keep saying it, is that I am no better than him.
Yeah.
And if I have it, I will give. And if I have a cup of coffee, I will give. If I have a smile, I will give. Do you know what I mean? Like something, but I'm not going to judge him for being there.
Yeah.
That's not for us to judge.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give, don't give. But don't sit there and freaking throw your negative shit at them.
Yeah, because you don't know what happened, and you don't know why they're there, and you don't know their life story. So it could easily be you. Just put it that way. It could easily be you. We had a situation a couple years back where my husband, somebody broke his neck. And he was confined to the chair for 3 months. He's walking and everything's okay now, but we almost lost the house. It could have happened like that because some random act. But you don't know why these people are on the street. We could have lost everything, and we almost did. Everybody's got their specific things, and if there's somebody that's being abrasive in your family, and there's somebody that's being opinionated, or if there's somebody that's being overbearing, I mean, there's something clearly that's going on with them,
not you.
It's got nothing to do with you. It's
nothing.
Got clearly everything.
Even if they look at you and say this has to do with you,
your fault.
it's got nothing to do with you.
So that's the thing. Like, so if that person is being all up in your face about stuff, then I mean, don't take it like if you're getting like bulldozed with emotional abuse. But I mean, you kind of have to pick and choose that battle.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm going to approach this on an energetic level. Our physical auras energetically, we all have them, and each farther away we go from our bodies, the different levels that we allow people to feel us with. So if we're right here, this is going to be like heart really close. If, a few feet over, it's a little farther away. And the farther away that we keep people, even physically outside of our auras, the more grounded we can feel, the more empowered we can feel. Now, having said that, I think a lot of people don't realize the power that is affecting us every day when we go to work, when we pick up our kids and they're going crazy and they're yelling, and or even when we go to bed at night, right? Stuff like that. And almost like there's little holes in each of our auras, and we each carry this energy around with us every day. And some of us who keep a distance energetically, you can feel that they're a little bit farther away, right? And even depending on our mood, they're farther away. But having said that, when there's something that comes up and you know that it's coming up for you, and you know that you're going to meet this person, and quite frankly, my best answer to this would be to zip up your aura. It sounds kind of silly. You may feel kind of silly doing it, but same thing with talking in the mirror, right? I felt really weird doing that the first time, and now it's just a ritual. I do it every day, right? But zip up your aura, and that really just includes kind of taking a zipper and zipping up. And from that, it almost gives you an extra protective barrier against that emotional, that energy, that negative shit that's hitting you. It's not hitting inside. It's not penetrating your energy. There's a wall there. There's an energetic wall that it's bouncing, and you are able to disconnect from that a little bit easier. And sometimes, even if you are having a bad day and you're going to Superstore and you're going, oh my God, it's Saturday. It's going to be crazy. The lineups are just going to be down the aisles. And, a lot of times I will just zip up, right? Some people, they just kind of do it really naturally, right? But if you have that intention while you do it, it's going to be a huge difference.
I actually recorded a it's called a sphere visualization.
Yeah.
And it walks you through, and it's like just a couple minutes long. It's very, very quick. Something you can do in your car before you go to a family gathering, before you whatever. And it's you put this sphere of, it's like a protectant basically, and it's like a filter. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a filter, and it filters out all the negative energy and only allows the good energy to come in. And it doesn't allow any of the bad energy to come in, any of the negative draining energy. Anything that's unwanted, it will not allow to come in. So I released that to the level 2. So if you guys want that sphere visualization,
I will
send
put
me
it
an
up
email.
right away.
You didn't give it to them yet? Isn't it the level 2 that wants?
It's the level 2 that I was curious about. I should get that ASAP.
But anybody else, if you guys would like a copy of that sphere visualization, just PM me or write on my wall or something. But yeah, it's basically the same thing, like the zip up.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Can I read this to you guys? It's just like we gave our own definition, our own personal definitions of what it means. But this is the law of allowing. Okay, this is the law of allowing, and I'm going to read this definition to you because I believe it really pertains to judgment and resistance. So, the law of allowing is about letting go of resistance and allowing all beings, including yourself, to be in their own, or to be in their power and choose their expressions. Okay, now, the law of allowing will bring you and your clients freedom. Sorry, this is my teacher's notes. By letting go of resistance towards others, expression, and choices, applying the law of allowing will allow you to stop or at least lessen your vibration of resistance. So remember, guys, the high and low vibrations, right? Like if resistance is a low vibration, so law of attraction states you like attracts like, right? So if you're judging others and you're not allowing them to be in their own personal, to choose their own personal expression, you're vibrating low. So that's what you're bringing back to you, right? The second part of the law of allowing is, the second level of applying the law of allowing is about allowing others to be who they are and express themselves as they choose. It also means like, you don't look at somebody and say, you should be practicing the law of allowing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's basically what it's saying. It's like, you allow yourself to be who you are and you allow others to be who they are, but don't judge them because they're not practicing the law of allowing.
Yeah, well, it's just basically letting people do their own journey and let people have their own thing. I mean, whatever they believe is right for them. It doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah, and if you tell them that they should be doing it another way, again, that's control.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the low vibration control, resistance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's do an example so that if people are just kind of going, what? If I was coming to you and I was being really abrasive and I was, this is how it has to be, blah, 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 how would you internally deal with me? If I was telling you, Tanya, you got to put your kids in school, you got to go to work 9 to 5, you have to whatever. No, okay, but...
Oh, this is good, we're starting stuff. Good.
I'm like,
here we go.
This is really personal.
No, but we've had discussions on this, and you know my view on it. I don't care.
Well,
do whatever you got to do. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody like that,
thank you for bringing this up because I have personal experience with this.
Right?
So I know exactly
because I mean, I want to make sure that we can talk about our experiences and not somebody else. Because I had lots of people who place a lot of judgment on me, find a 9 to 5 job because being a personal trainer just isn't a real job, quote unquote. So. I mean, and you have to deal with that a lot of times. But I want you, because you're the coach, you're the life coach here. Okay. So if I'm coming after you and I'm still telling you all this stuff, well, clearly it's my own personal reflection on you.
So what I've worked through that, okay, and at first I felt this anger of, no, that's not how I see my future happening. That's not what's going to happen. This is the life I chose to live, and this is blah, 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 blah. And I felt like I needed to explain a lot, right? And then I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I don't need to create confrontation and everything like that. I understand where you're coming from, and you're coming from a place of safety. You're coming from a place of maybe ego. You really truly believe that the only way and the safest way for me and my children to survive being a single-ish mom is to put my kids back in school and get a 9-to-5 job, because then I'll be financially safe. For me, okay, so I completely understand where you're coming from. You're coming from love and whatever else. And for me, it's like, I'd look at them and go, okay, I totally understand what you're saying, but I'm sorry, no one, that's not my choice. No, I don't choose to live that way. Mm-hmm. So now you kind of like, I don't want to say rise above, but it's called a higher vibration, higher frequency, right? Because I don't like to say rise above, because then it's kind of, that's egotistical as well, right? But we're just on a different frequency. Yeah. We're on I could be down here, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever makes you feel better, but we're on different frequencies. So I just choose not to engage, kind of, and I choose to live the way that I live, and the only way that they're ever going to see it to be true is by seeing me do it, right? So I understand where they're coming from, which releases a lot of anger and sadness and resentment for the other person not believing in me, or whatever the case is, right?
Is that what you would see if somebody came up to you that they didn't believe in you? Like, because if somebody hasn't practiced a lot of the law of allowing, and people are new to this, and if we have people that are watching this and they have no idea what the hell we're talking about, how do you internally deal with the fact that somebody wants to control your life? How do you deflect that? How would you, like, if you were to have a beginner come in class, how do you deflect that?
Well, do you want to control the way that they're controlling you? Because if you try to, if you try to respond to that, then that's kind of what you're doing.
Letting them control the situation?
You just allow them to want to control the situation, but know that you are going to do what you're going to do.
What about allowing them to have their own opinions and feelings and validating that, right?
Yeah.
Not that you have to stop it or whatever, or not say anything to yourself, right? But then also just almost being assertive with it and allowing them and validating, yes, I'm hearing what you're saying. It does have a lot of, it does have a lot of really great points to it. And, I've considered some of those. And, but I think, for me, this is just the route I'm going to take.
This is the path for me. Yeah.
But you're also validating not just what they're feeling, what they're saying. You're not shutting them down. You're not telling them abruptly, no, you're not putting that wall up. But you are validating their feelings, because they're obviously caring and they want to help you.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really where they're coming from. They're trying to come from a place of love, but there's some restrictive energy, something going on in there between the two of you, right? So allow them to feel what they're feeling, validate, vocalize it, right? And a lot of times, people just want to be heard, right? People who love you and are trying to help you, they just want to be heard, and they want to know that they're being heard. Yeah. And so just saying...
No, that makes sense.
And allowing it, right? Allowing them to have their feelings, and, by all means, like, stand your ground on what you want to do and what your beliefs are, right?
In my personal experience, when somebody, because I have experienced people coming to me, not more than one, people coming to me saying, you can't homeschool and be a single parent. And me looking at them, and I'm sorry, is this bad? She works with energy, but is this bad? When people tell me I can't do something, it fucking lights a fire in my ass, and I do it?
Not necessarily, no.
I don't think so, because I think it's a motivator.
It totally motivates me. I look at them and I'm like, yeah.
But I think you got to do it not out of spite.
I don't do it out of spite.
If you do it out of spite, then I think that brings upon more of that.
I don't feel such a negative energy. I just feel it just motivates the crap out of me to get it done, to do it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because I know what my gut is telling me. I know which path that I'm meant to take. Even though I don't know it, I can feel it. I kind of follow that feeling, right? I follow that gut feeling. And this is the route, the journey that I'm being led to take, right?
I think the answer to that question is, are you manifesting in a positive space, or are you manifesting that in a negative space, right? In a abrupt kind of a fuck you space, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Or, you know what, watch me, I'm going to do this, right? Yeah. It's the attitude that you're taking, because really you're the only one who's manifesting stuff into your life, right? It's your energy that's being thrown out there that's coming back to you when you're flowing. If it's negative, it's going to bring in negative, right? Yeah. If you're positive, it's going to give you an abundance of positive.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's positive. I think it is because I look at them and I smile and I'm like, yes.
But I think a lot of people though. I think a lot of people do it out of a negative space
For sure.
because you see even like some of the posts on Facebook, like they have everybody has those pictures and they share and it's like, well, you told me I can't do it. Fuck you. I'm gonna do it. But I think a lot of people do it out of spite because they're told that they can't do it.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it, like you said, in a positive and you can manifest it in a good way and you can motivate it and light that fire under your ass, trust me, Lions Den Fitness happened because I was told that I couldn't do it. Invest in yourself happened because I was told I couldn't do it. Like
who told you couldn't do invest in
lots
yourself?
Lots of people tell me, they're like, oh yeah, well then good luck with that. Right? When you're like, okay, well, you don't have to like support it, but I'm going to show you that I can do it.
Did we help our
hope we
friend?
I think
that
so.
zip up and the sphere visualization
I think too
is going to be key.
Like, how would you, if we were to just give her one word of advice on what?
I know what the one word of advice would be.
What?
If you ever... Oh, okay, finish.
No, go ahead.
If you notice yourself judging and having any negative feelings toward another person, stop and take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
And that might hurt. And don't hit too hard. If you find yourself judging others, stop and take a look at yourself. I think that's probably the easiest.
I think so. I think too, like if there's people in your life that are being that abrasive or that abrupt and that negative on you, you have to figure out a way to. I don't know. You have to figure out a way to cut. Something.
You have no control over another person. No, that's the thing.
But you can control if that person comes in your life. You could
control your perception of what's happening. There's been a lot of times where I've been in a negative space thinking that people are being assholes to me, and it's because I'm in the negative space. It really doesn't have anything to do with me.
No,
why they're behaving a certain way. So I think it's all in a shift of your energy, a shift in your frequency, and a shift in your perception sometimes. Yeah. More so than the other people. And some of the people you just might not be. You choose not to be around.
You can choose to limit contact. I mean, you can't always avoid the situation, but you can definitely, right? If it's family, for sure, you can avoid
another thing to do is always look at those people and say, thank you for the lesson, because you're strengthening me right now. Yeah. You're strengthening what I need to strengthen in my life. Like, it's a challenge, right? Yeah. It's an obstacle. Like, you're constantly learning from the people around you.
Special guest, Jaicee from
Soul Connection Winnipeg.
Soul Connection Winnipeg.
Soul Connection Winnipeg.
Soul Connection Winnipeg.
.com.
.com. And on Facebook.
We'll have all the links underneath the podcast. We'll also subscribe to the podcast, of course. I finally have an actual YouTube channel for the Invest in Yourself, so we're going to get that going.
Share with your friends.
Get this all going. Comment, concerns, questions. If you guys want us to talk about anything specifically, or if you have any questions for Tanya and myself, and we're going to bring this one back.
Bring me back.
Then, what else? Oh, and the investinyourself.course.com. Sign up for level 1. You guys get to touch a lot on this allowing and attraction and all the law of polarity.
So we do the classes once a week for 6 weeks, an hour and 15 minutes long.
Yep.
You get a lot of content, and you also get us following up with you via video every week.
Did that help?
That's private.
Yes.
The video. Yeah. So they're private 1 hour. Well, 1 hour-esque. We try to keep it brief, and our briefness is an hour.
So yeah, you get like double the class.
You get double the class, and it helped to have those podcasts. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's a good, like, if you missed anything in class or whatever, and then we usually get to go off on.
A lot of, like, sometimes ladies miss the class, so then they
get to follow up
with the video podcast. And there's a couple spots left in the Empowering Kids Summer Day Camp for August, so click on that link and enroll your kids. Yeah. I don't swear.
She doesn't swear with the kids.
I don't
Only
swear
adults
during the camp.
Now
I'm very appropriate.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We shall see you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.